I'm sure all of you can tell that I've been trying to grow an extra half an inch taller by the end of 2025 by eating a peanut butter and jelly sandwich and glass of milk every day. I'm also sure you can all tell that I'm not the biggest fan of the way Microsoft handles some of its IP. I think they sit upon a gold mine and refuse to do anything with it. They just slumber on top of all of this treasure like smog. And it's really upsetting. And that's only been further cemented by the recent story that came out about how Microsoft turned down a Halo and Doom crossover for the secret level show. To me, this is a huge missed opportunity and snatching defeat from the jaws of victory for absolutely no reason here. There is only positives for Microsoft in this scenario. Secret Level just dropped recently and it was very successful. It's even getting another season. And it was a celebration of video games from the Love, Death, and Robots team. It's an anthology series where they take video games and make breathtaking animated shorts for them. My favorite was, of course, the Warhammer 40k episode because, as all of you can probably sniff out, I've taken a huge plunge into the 40k universe, and I thought that that short was fucking extraordinary. I only wish it was longer. And that's really the main criticism people have for the show, is that some of them feel really short, so it's hard to get really invested, but they're all very well done. And it seems like a labor of love, like the teams that put them together at the very least knew the property and wanted to do something special for it. So even something like Pac-Man, which has no real story, they made an episode for in Secret Level and they gave it like a dark, gritty sci-fi universe that was so wacky and weird that it was captivating. Another good episode was the Dungeons and Dragons episode. Like, there were some bangers in there. And they just had a lot of beloved video game IP that they made shorts for, and they even had dog shit IP in there they made shorts for, like Concord, a game that has been buried in a shallow grave and pissed upon by everyone with a bladder. Still don't know how that pitiful stain got a spot in Secret Level. There must have been some very big cash transactions in there in order to secure its spot. But guess what? The episode came out, and it's not very good. It's definitely one of the weaker episodes of the entire series. There's only so much you can do when you're working with legitimate garbage. But anyway, back to Microsoft. It just came out in an interview that Microsoft was approached by the team about doing a Halo and Doom crossover episode for Secret Level as just a really hype love letter. And Microsoft replied, nah.
And still not run out of games that we like.
I would like the big one that I like. Creative director at id is a good friend of ours, and and so is folks at Microsoft. So we made a big plea, because one of the things both Tim and I would love to do is do something that isn't currently available in the games, like crossovers. Like, we wanted to make a Master Chief Doomslayer like crossover episode, and it like. I spent a whole weekend crafting this impassioned letter of my childhood, and it's exactly what Tim said. They were like, no,
and of course we begged for Half-Life, and of course we,
Half-Life being shot down doesn't surprise me, because Valve would rather see their company burn to the ground than have to make anything in regards to Half-Life 3. And had there been a Half-Life episode, there would have once again been that reignited hope that maybe we'll see a Half-Life 3. Somehow, that copium ran rampant when the Game Awards broadcast last month, with people saying they're going to announce Half-Life 3. And then, of course, any sensible person with a functioning frontal lobe knew that wasn't coming, and then it didn't come. So now that hype died down once again. However, if there was also a Secret Level episode for Half-Life, people would be ravenous, scratching at their neck again, and Valve would have to once again disappoint them by reminding them it's just not going to happen. So I'm not surprised Half-Life was turned down, but I am beyond surprised that Microsoft said no to a Halo Doom crossover, with how down in the dumps Halo as an IP has been for a decade. Halo used to be a juggernaut. I have bitched and moaned, whined out the wazoo about the tragic fall-off of Halo since being passed to 343, and it's no secret, it's not in like the mainstream consciousness anymore. People don't talk about Halo. It's not very popular anymore. It still has a community, of course it does, but it is a shell of its former self, and it is not a game that gets a lot of big attention outside of its own community. This was an opportunity to put Master Chief back in the forefront, to remind people how good that character is and how much potential there still is for the IP, and you pair him with someone like Doomslayer, it's just a slam dunk. That whole concept of crossovers is something that has been a successful formula not for movies, obviously. There's been a lot of terrible crossover movies, but for shorts, it has been a really received thing for years. Like, one of the early viral videos from YouTube was actually Haloid from one of the greatest animators of our generation, Monty. Many of you probably remember Haloid fondly. And that was a crossover of Master Chief and Samus. Like, that crossover of Doomslayer and Master Chief, with the quality that Secret Life was delivering, that would finally be something hype for the Halo IP. There hasn't been something to get excited about for Halo in a long time. There just hasn't. The most exciting thing they announced is that they're shutting down 343. Like, that's the best news Halo's gotten in a decade, that they're moving on from 343 and becoming Halo Studios, like a fresh start. Take a moment, let that sink in, marinate in it. That is pathetic. That is so sad that Halo's best announcement in years is that the company behind Halo in the last decade is being thrown into the shitter. Like, come on, this could have just been a freebie. It's just such a layup. It's unbelievable that they would pass on it. It makes no sense. There's no negatives, because it's not like it's, bad for the Halo brand image, because that's non-existent right now. And it's not like they have anything that competes with it. The Halo show's finished, thank God, because that was a tragedy. I guess it is possible that Microsoft is so delusional that they're very proud of that show and think that that's like the gold standard of quality they want for the Halo IP. Like, this is the best Master Chief can ever be, by constantly flexing his butt cheeks at us on screen. Master Cheeks, like, this is the best they can do. Why would we ever dabble with something like animated Master Chief and Doomslayer? Oh, that's below us. We've got this Paramount Plus Halo show that nobody likes. That's the good stuff. Oh, come on. It's so stupid. Again, there hasn't been anything like any good news from Halo in so long. The best news Halo gets is when leaks come out with the 90 gigabytes of information from older Halo titles. Like, recently they had that 90 gigabyte leak that had the third person Halo from like way back in the day when it was still like in pre-beta or whatever it was. I can't even remember what all the leaks covered. But the best thing Halo gets is reminiscing about how good Halo used to be, and old files being brought back to life so we can play the good Halos in a new way. Modern Halo is just, it's not hitting. It's just big time shitting. This could have been your way of saying, it's time Halo is cool again. So here's Master Chief with Doomslayer. Everyone loves Doom, because Doom and Doom Eternal have been incredible. And there's a new Doom right around the corner, which, by the way, Microsoft owns both Doom and Halo. I think maybe people don't remember that. They own both of these. This was just so free for them to get some great PR here and have a lot of hype going into Doom Dark Ages, which comes out this year. That could have got people really excited. And yet they still just said no. There is nothing negative that could come from them agreeing to let Secret Level do a Master Chief Doom crossover. The only argument I've seen, and it was from one person in chat when I was going over this the other night, that's sticking with me because I found it to be just so outrageous, was that they think it's a bad idea because it should just be full episodes for Halo and Doom. Yeah, I mean, sure, that'd be great, but instead of that, we got nothing. We could have had Master Chief and Doom, and then in Season 2, maybe they each get their own standalone episode. You can have your cake and fuck it too. Like, it wasn't mutually exclusive. It's not like by turning down the crossover, now all of a sudden they're going to get their own full episodes for Master Chief and Doomslayer. I don't know what fantasy that's coming from. You could have just said yes to this, and then also, maybe it performs so well for Secret Level that they absolutely guarantee more Halo and Doom for Secret Level in Season 2. Whereas now, Microsoft just shut that shit down with an iron fist. Probably won't see them in Season 2 would be my guess. Microsoft just does not seem interested in playing ball here. They really think they know best, and the best thing Microsoft knows how to do is nothing. They own everything and do nothing with it. It's craziness to me. It's absolute insanity. But this goes a step beyond that. This isn't doing nothing. This is actively going out of their way to self-sabotage their property. Actively being a hindrance to their property being more popular and having more hype behind it. Like, they are actively shutting down opportunities that are good for it. It's just sad. It's not like this required some huge lift from Microsoft where they need to put tens of millions of dollars into the production of this. All they had to do was say, yes. That's it. As far as I know, it's not like Microsoft is going to have to pay them for it or anything like that. This was them wanting to work with these two properties because they're such big fans of it. They wrote this giant letter pleading with them to let them use this and make a really cool crossover episode. It's not like this was something that had a huge ask from Microsoft, and yet they still just said no. They are just so allergic to fun. They are anti-fun. It's like Plankton needing to be taught what fun is by SpongeBob, but Microsoft refuses to learn. It's just so pathetic. So yeah, I just wanted to rant about that a little bit. Was thinking about it again today. That's it. See ya.